So, you want to hear a story? I got one for you. This one is for the conspiracy theorists and anyone that doesn't trust the government. This is a story about a program run by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. The people focused on creating technology for national security to prevent future strategic surprises, as they put it. Or the people who brought us MK Ultra, mind control, remote viewing, and who are actively working on time travel. Okay, so there's a town in the United States that still exists. Its streets are paved, its buildings are standing, its homes are furnished. And yet, no one lives there. This is not because of a disaster, it's not due to a war, and it's not because something chased them out, but because at some point, everyone who lived there agreed. It just didn't matter anymore. Welcome to Now It's Dark. On satellite images, the town is visible. On maps, it appears and disappears depending on the year. To the surrounding communities, it's never mentioned. Ask locals about it and you'll get polite confusion. They'll say things like, "There's nothing out that way. You must be mistaken. I wouldn't waste your time." No hostility, no secrecy, just dismissal so casual it feels rehearsed. And for decades, that was enough. In the 1970s, DARPA quietly funded a behavioral research program known internally as Project Echo Veil. Its purpose wasn't mind control, not hypnosis, it wasn't brainwashing. Echo Veil focused on something far more subtle: belief friction. How difficult an idea feels to hold. How exhausting doubt becomes. How some things simply fail to stick. According to internal research, belief isn't a switch, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it weakens under constant low-level strain. Echo Veil didn't tell people what to believe. It made certain thoughts feel tiring. Questioning required effort. Certainty felt like relief. DARPA researchers discovered something unsettling. If you apply just enough friction to an idea, people don't reject it. They simply stop carrying it. They needed a closed system to test this, a place where variables could be controlled. So they selected a small, unremarkable town. No fences, no guards, no warning signs. Residents lived normally while Echo Veil adjusted the feel of reality itself. Disagreement didn't disappear, it just became uncomfortable. Doubt felt heavy. Over time, a new consensus emerged. Not spoken, not enforced, just felt. This place doesn't matter anymore. One theory suggests Echo Veil's most effective weapon wasn't inside the town, but around it. The town was never declared abandoned. It was never reported on. It didn't vanish from the news. It simply never qualified as news. Local mentions were buried beneath weather updates, regional data was quietly outdated, and national coverage never happened because nothing dramatic occurred. The absence of information wasn't suspicious, it was boring. And boredom, as it turns out, is one of the most powerful suppressants of curiosity ever discovered. According to leaked behavioral models, Echo Veil didn't influence what the news reported, it influenced what the audience emotionally invested in. Stories weren't killed, they were ranked. Coverage that produced quick outrage was elevated. Stories that required sustained curiosity were quietly deprioritized. Over time, communities were trained, not consciously, but emotionally, to care deeply about a narrow set of rotating conflicts, and to feel nothing at all about everything else. The system learned something crucial. You don't need to hide the truth. You just need to make it feel irrelevant. Echo Vale didn't just decide what people care about, it decided what they resented. Certain ideas were paired with mild irritation, others with boredom, and a few with deep, instinctive anger, even when the details were vague. People didn't know why they felt so strongly, they just knew they did. And when a town stopped appearing in stories that triggered either outrage or empathy, it didn't feel protected. It felt invisible. The neighboring towns were exposed next, not as test subjects, but as containment. Their job was simple: make curiosity feel inappropriate. They weren't taught to lie. They were taught to feel embarrassed for anyone who asked. This created a human firewall. Every question met with polite discouragement. No one felt silenced. They felt foolish. Decades later, a forgotten online forum began connecting the dots. A handful of people noticed maps that didn't agree, locals who refused to elaborate, a town that existed but never came up. They planned a visit. When they arrived at the nearest town, the resistance began. A gas station clerk suggested another route. A waitress warned them about bad roads. A police officer calmly recommended they leave. No threats, no force, just certainty. One member later said it felt like breaking an unspoken social rule, like asking a question everyone agreed not to ask. When they finally reached the town, they found it intact. Schoolrooms in mid-lesson, homes set for dinner, cars parked on the road and in front of houses. No damage, no panic, just absence. Inside municipal archives, they found documents with unfamiliar phrases. Phrases like belief exit compliance, consensus without awareness, and one that stood out. Once disbelief is controlled, belief self-organizes. The forum posts slowed, and then they stopped. One member stayed behind to study. Another left early, suddenly convinced the town and the story was pointless. The final post ever made read, "I don't think it's dangerous anymore. I just think it worked." The town still stands, not abandoned, but successfully erased. Because the final phase of Echo Vale wasn't tested on the town, it was tested on everyone else. They never told us what to think. They only decided what would feel worth thinking about. The most disturbing theory doesn't involve technology at all. It suggests Echo Vale discovered something fundamental about human reality. That places don't disappear when they're destroyed. They disappear when they stop mattering. And once a community agrees emotionally that something doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be erased. It erases itself. Project Echo Vale didn't just erase the town. It proved you can remove anything from reality as long as you remove the emotional permission to care. So what do you think? Does this sound like fiction? Just another conspiracy theory? Or have the fine folks at DARPA figured out how to control us by controlling what we care about and what we don't? Just think about how emotional you get sometimes when you're doom scrolling at 2 a.m. And let me know in the comments. Please like and share the video. It's a big help and I appreciate it. If you want more dark conspiracies, haunted houses, and urban legends, subscribe. And thank you for watching. Now it's dark.